Rashmi, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How we can go?
Shall I start, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. My voice audible, sir?
Yeah, your voice is audible.
Okay, sir. So, good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to this webinar conducted by EdGrow. I am A. Rashmi Bhavani, and I hope that you all are doing well in this COVID situation, and all the students are buckled up to fight for their career and make a better path towards the future. So now we have this interactive session by EdGrow. You must be wondering what this session is all about. It's all about physics. It's about how to score more percentile in physics in JEE Mains. And in case if you are a new person to this platform, then let us have a quick glance about what EdGrow really is about. So what is EdGrow? EdGrow is a social platform which provides personalized information to the students or parents to take better decisions. EdGrow provides career guidances from 8 to 10, 8 to 12th grade students. So it is not only limited to certain grade of students. You can, like if you have any queries after your 10th, you can go and post your queries in EdGrow and you'll get an answer to every question of yours. So let us know more about EdGrow. Provides career guidances from 8 to 10, 8 to 12th grade students. So it is not only limited to certain grade of students. Who all can join EdGrow? EdGrow is not just limited to students or parents or teachers, but it is a platform open to everyone, be it students or parents or teachers. This platform will bridge all the misunderstandings between the students and parents, and it will help you to get a clarity about your career, about your decisions. If you have any doubts, this is the right place to come. So let's know more about it. We have the following ed tools. Like these tools will help the students and parents and to make the better decisions regarding their careers, and it will give you more clarity about everything. So let us look at the tools one by one. So we have Adblock. These are articles which are about every topic that you are interested in, be it chemical engineering or be it any other branch other than science. You'll get articles and updates for every topic that you need. As we can see from the video, this is not just limited to one topic. We get a knowledge about a lot of the topics. So EdGroom doesn't just cover about one topic, but it covers a wide range of topics. So let's know about another tool of EdGroom, which is EdNews.
Rashmi, you are unable to hear the voice?
No,
Are you getting the voice?
no, sir, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry.
As for the video, sir.
Okay, now.
A student
Can you hear the voice?
Yes, sir.
who is preparing for JEE Mains exam, if he simply enters JEE Mains, you see the results. All the articles related to JEE Mains you can see there. So you can see a lot of information about the JEE Mains exam, how to prepare, what are the important dates, what are the books related. So you can browse a lot of articles related to just JEE Mains exam. Let's see how you get the results on Google. Suppose in Google, if I simply type JEE Mains, look at the results here. Now you look at the results in EdBytes. Here, all the information is related to the students' interests. For example, if I just type NEET exam here, look at the content. So here, how to prepare for the NEET exam. Everything is related to only the NEET exam. All the content is NEET and options beyond MBBS. These articles will definitely help the students. The same way, if I type same NEET in Google, what happens you see? So here, if you look at the content that you are seeing in Google, is not as relevant as you are getting in EdBytes there. So here you require further search. But here in EdBytes, the content is more suitable. Suppose a student is preparing for law, he just type the word law, you'll get all the information related to law. So this is the main advantage for the students. So those who wish to see information related to their career, they can browse all that from this EdBytes. So it is a very, very useful tool for the students who want to take their career to higher level. Thank you.
So as we can see, EdNews or EdBytes, it's going to save a lot of time for all the students out there. Even we faced it. We would ask a question on the website and we had to search everywhere about it. But now that we have a platform like this, we can straight away go towards it and choose whatever specific subject or option we have chosen, and we'll get news or updates regarding that. So isn't that amazing? So let's know more about EdForum.
In this, I'm going to explain one of the important tools on this website, that is EdForum. In this EdForum, a student, a parent can pose the question, whatever question they have related to any course, a college, or a career. And those questions will be answered by people from different fields. Even some of the students who know the answers can post their answers. So it is a best platform where one can pose their questions, or even they can answer the questions that are existing. So you can see how to become artificial engineer, or is MS in artificial intelligence degree enough? What is the entry-level salary in US? So this question was answered by scientists. That's not tricky. So like this, questions will be answered by people who are expert in their fields. So please share your question in this set forum. Definitely questions will be answered very soon. Thank you.
So as we can see, out of all the ed tools that we have, Ed Forum stands to be one of the most important tools, I believe, because this is the place where you can pose your doubts and get an answer to every question of yours. So why not make the right use out of it, and then you'll have your doubts cleared. So now the last tool that we have left is Ed Alerts. So let's know more about it.
Hi, in this, I'm going to explain about an important tool related to exams, that is Ed Alerts. In this tool, we provided the brief information about the various exam notifications. If a student wishes to see the details of that particular exam, simply if you click on it, you'll see the brief details of that exam. For example, if you look at the JEE Advanced exam, so there we have written what is the exam date and what are the timings for each paper. And if they want to see more details about that exam, they simply click the link given below and they'll be directed to the official website. So like this, they can see the details about every exam, and all the notifications will be posted here. So students can see the information related to that exam, and if they want more details about that exam, they simply click that link, web link, and it will be directed to their original website. There they can browse everything they want. So this tool is very useful to the students to know in a nutshell about each exam notification. Thank you.
Now, having seen all these videos, I hope everyone has got some clarity about what EdGroom is really about and how useful it can be. So why should you register for EdGroom? As we can read here, it is given that we have personalized experience through registration. Let's focus on the word personalized for a minute. It's not generalized, but in fact, you can get information regarding whichever stream you have know more about.
Hello, hi, this is Venkatesh Panyam, co-founder of EdGroom. In this video, I'm going to explain briefly what is the advantage of registering on this website. First, you have to click the sign up button. There you need to fill up all the details like name. You can select the grade. You have to fill your mobile number, email address, password. You can set your password, all that. Once you register here, after registration, you can go to sign in button. In this sign in, you have to enter your email address, registered email address and your password. Then you just click login button. Once you log in, you will be directed to this My Profile page, where you need to fill up some more details in order to get the personalized experience on this website. All the notifications that you get on your mobile app will be based on this profile. Even if you don't fill these points on this profile, still you can see all the content in the website. And nothing that can stop you. But the advantage of filling the profile is data will be personalized. All the content you can see depends on this profile that you fill. Here you can select the languages in which you want to see the content. You can choose either English or Telugu, or you can choose both. Then you need to type the institute where you are studying, the board, and the class you are in, and the stream you are currently pursuing, and the interested. Based on your stream, here for example, when I click MPC, I got lot of streams. So I got engineering entrance exams. I can choose multiple. I'm interested in engineering, I'm interested in engineering entrance exam. So only. Then based on these interests, you have some career options. So I just want to weather technology, mathematics and computing. You can select a number of areas related to, or I can say aeronautical engineering. So you can select all the career options related to your interest. Then simply update your profile. So now onwards, whatever you see, the content will be based on your interests. Let's see how it affects your advice. In advice, if you look at, since you have chosen MPC, all the results will be based on MPC only. JEE Mains exam, get notifications, all that will be based on MPC only. Board exams, JEE Advanced, MSET, AVPY, all this content is relevant to MPC tree. Suppose in profile, if a student select MPC, let's see how it is going to change. Now I'll select MPC in the place of MPC. Then automatically interests will changes. So now I'm interested in, let's say, medicine. So I need to select some of the branches. So I want to do MBBS, or I can select some BSMS. Like that, I can select whatever the options I want to use. Just update. Now let's go to the same advice. Now see here, once you enter those IPC, I've entered in profile. So now look at this content I've changed. Here we got optometry, NEET exam. Now every content that you see in advice is based on your personal interests. So when I'm preparing for MPC, I'll get all the content related MPC. When I'm preparing for BIPC, I'll get all the content for BIPC. So in this way, every tool that you're going to witness, the data will be based on your personal interest. So this site completely works on the personalization. If you complete the profile, then you can experience and you can see all the data related to your career. Thank you.
I hope that the students have got an idea about how to register for EdGroom. So let's see the statistics, like how many people have registered. It's been just a few months since we have started EdGroom, and we already have 540 plus registered users on EdGroom and 15,000 plus visitors in the last 3 months and 1,000 plus weekly active users. And on the 7th of November, we have an upcoming webinar. It is on how to score better marks in maths in JEE Mains, and it is being given by G. Srinivas sir. So as you can see, don't follow the crowd. Choose a career where you will find happiness and no regret. On this note, I'd like to take a small moment to share a personal experience of myself. I am an engineering student, and I too had my phase. Like I too had to come to this path. I had to go through the +1 and +2 journey, and physics used to be one of my favorite subjects, but still I struggled with it. It hasn't been easy in scoring well in physics, and especially in the application part. So having a mentor like Venkatesh sir, I feel that I'm lucky enough to have good mentors like Venkatesh sir, who has helped me out in solving the questions in the right way. And his suggestions have not been limited only to physics or any subject, but he also guided us regarding our career. And I think that the future generation and you all are even luckier to get an app which is dedicated to you all. So make the right use of this app, and trust me, you'll end in better places. So yeah, let's know more about it through this video.
What should I choose after my 10th? They say PCM has more scope than PCB. Shall I go for it?
I like biology a lot. What if I couldn't make it in 8 after 12th? Could I able to face the pressure?
I want to be an IITian or NITian in future, and I need good coaching for it. Where do I take my admission in?
Now that my MCET rank is decent enough, so which colleges should I choose for admissions in Vizag?
Do I really want to do engineering, or am I just going with the flow? Well, I've always wanted to prepare for civil exams. So what should I do now?
Is CSE really worth all the hype? What about ACE and JEE? Should I do much research about it or stick to CSE? What if I don't get a job after taking up other branches? Questions like these have been haunting us for the past 2 years now. We never had a clarity as to what to choose or where to go. There always has been a doubt lurking in the corner of our minds.
But after using a platform like EdGroom, we have been able to gain some clarity regarding our decisions and choices. Experienced people in these fields have helped us to be firm with our decisions.
What is EdGroom? EdGroom is an online platform that clarifies all your doubts regarding your career choices and gives you valuable advice. It has an answer for every question of yours. EdGroom is not only confined to science streams but also other streams like arts, commerce, etc. And since it's an online platform, you can have an access to it anytime.
This platform is run by experienced people like Venkatesh, who has been a lecturer for 2 years in intermediate. He has given the right guidance in intermediate.
Venkatesh sir's way of approaching the students was unique and fair, and he has always been kind enough in clarifying your doubts.
People like Venkatesh sir are many on EdGroom who are willing to help the students. They'll help you to dream big and achieve big. So without any delay, take up your chance and make the right choice. So having seen the video, I hope that you all have got some clarity about what EdGroom is really about and how it focuses on every field. It's not just limited to one field. So yeah, once again, I'd like to repeat the same thing. Make right use of this platform and you'll end in a better place in your life. So the time has finally come. Let me invite our very dear Venkatesh sir, who has 21 years of experience in physics. He has been teaching physics for the past 21 years, and his experience will guide you in scoring better in JEE Mains and other competitive exams. And before starting this session, I'd like to tell all the students to make use of this session and ask any kind of doubts that you have on the Ed forum, and your doubts will be clarified in the Q&A session at the end of this webinar. So I'd like to welcome Venkatesh sir. Good evening, sir.
Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you for a wonderful introduction. Yeah, good evening, all the students and parents who are watching this webinar. Yeah, definitely. As he said, please post your questions if you have any question related to. And remember, your questions should relate to the webinar that we are conducting as of now. So if you have any questions, please go to the website, and in the web forum, you can just put your questions. And at the end of the session, where we have a Q&A, all your questions will be answered. So thank you. Once again, I invite all the students and parents to this wonderful session today. So before I go to actual webinar, let me show you what we exactly are looking, what changes we are making in this EdGroom. And let me just take you to small. Yeah. So I think you can see the website, right? Can you see the website?
Yes, sir.
Rashmi? Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. Right. See, you all know that we have this EdNews session. Previously, we used to call it as advice. Now we've changed to EdNews, where all the information can be, found on the main page itself. Okay, on the home button itself, you can find out. And if you want to read articles, you can directly go from there. And another important aspect of this website is it is completely based on AI and ML. So every information that we see largely depends upon, as we have seen in the video, you need to update your profile and select the careers that are suitable to your age and interest. And based on this, you see all the information in this website. So here, there is a team of people who are behind this EdGroom, and these experienced people will definitely guide you in the coming days, and their experiences you can definitely utilize. And to do that, as I said, please post the questions in that forum where options are provided. Now we can share the questions so that experts can answer your questions. So there's an option for sharing. And even as I said, there are blogs, which is completely a curated content, which is meant for particular interest of a student. Now, if you look at this, recently we uploaded a blog related to MSET. Previously it is called MSET, now it's called AAP set. So there you can find out the different sessions that were conducted last year. And even you can directly get the question paper from this website itself. So all the previous MSET, last year MSET papers can be downloaded from the website itself. We can go through it. And as I said, this is, as he said, Rashmi said the same thing. This is the wonderful tool that we developed in EdGroom. So you can just type whatever the information you want. Suppose you want to know more about the JEE Mains exam. Just type the word there, and you see a lot of information will come out in this website related to the JEE Mains. And all these things, you can see all the articles related to JEE Mains. You can get a lot of tips and strategies. Everything will be related to your career. So like this, you can, some people, maybe they are interested in, say, for example, aeronautical engineering. So simply type aeronautical engineering here, and you get information about this aeronautical engineering, and a lot of information we can get from this. So what are the courses and careers in aeronautics, aerospace? So you will see what are the different career options that are possible. So this is a very, very interesting part of this website. So I request every students and parent, please, if you are not registered for the website, register it, as it, because we are not charging anything, it's completely free. So you can utilize all the services. In the near future, we are developing a lot of other important tools, which are definitely going to help all the students and parents. Now, let's start the today's session. So we all know that every year, nearly 12 to 13 lakh students write JEE Mains exam. And after the exam, if you ask any student, they say that they didn't prepare, they didn't score, or they didn't write physics exam properly. Or they say that we lost some marks in physics. Or they say that we found physics was difficult. This year, the same thing happened, NEET exam. Every student who wrote the NEET exam, they found physics was very difficult. Because of that, only this year, they're expecting that the score is coming down. So why physics is difficult for most of them, and why students are facing such type of difficulty, I'll explain. Before that, I would like to explain this year JEE Mains papers, how the papers were given in the exam, and what are the chapters that we should focus on. All those I'm going to explain in this webinar. Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Rashmi, can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I think you can see this, my PPT, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So let's understand in this. So how to get percentile? So there is a difference between the percentage and percentile. So before it was called as percentage marks. Now it is percentile. So percentile is nothing but where, because this exam is conducted in different sessions. So in different exams, papers will have different set of questions. So in order to give the same justification to the students, so what NTA have introduced the percentile system. So where according to the highest marks scored in that particular session, the marks will be calculated. See, for example, before the JEE Mains exam was conducted for 360 marks. So in each paper, 120 marks. Then the students who got the 350 marks will get the first rank. So like that, they used to give the rank based on the marks. Because it was conducted only once way back. Now it is conducted, as I said, in number of sessions. So, for example, this year, the exam was conducted in the month of February, March, July, and August. So in the first session, first day, the physics paper was very easy. So in the morning session, one student answered all the 30 questions. So he'll get 100 percentile. Then after that, they calculate the rest of the students. For example, in the afternoon session, the physics paper was very tough. Out of 30 students answered only 20 questions. And that student also will get 100 percentile. See the difference. So in the morning, a student who answered all the 30% got 100 percentile. But in the afternoon session, even he answered only 20 questions, he got the highest percentile. So like that, depends on the paper difficulty level, your percentile will change. So generally, when the paper is tough, even if you answer few questions, your percent will be very high. If the paper is very easy, your percentile, even if you answer more questions, you may not get that percentile. That's what happened before last year. When chemistry paper was very easy, physics were difficult. A student answered 12 questions in physics, say he got 85 percentile. A student answered 18 questions in chemistry, he got only 80 percentile. What is the reason? Because in physics, since the physics paper is difficult, even 12 marks also gets lot of percentile. And in chemistry, when the paper is easy, you need to answer more. So that is very, very important. You have to understand what is percentile, what is percentage. As I said, this year, exam was conducted in the month of February, March, and even in July and August. So this year, till in 2022, we don't know when is going to they're going to conduct the exam. As we don't have a clarity about this, we'll come to the answer from JEE Mains NTA authority. Okay. Now let's see one by one the analysis of each paper. This was the first exam conducted on February, that is on 24th of February in the morning session. Now what I'm trying to say is how many questions were given from first year and second year syllabus, and on what topics are given, all those details I'm going to explain in this session. See, generally, if you look at this paper analysis, you'll understand whether I should focus on first year or I should focus on second year, all that. In the first session, 15 questions were given from first year and 15 questions were given from second year. Let's move ahead. Now see, if you look at the topics there, I divided the entire portion into these 7 topics. The first one is mechanics. Then we have mechanical properties of matter. That includes elasticity, surface tension, and fluid mechanics. Then we have heat and thermodynamics. Then we have SHM and waves. Then optics. Then electricity and magnetism and modern physics. So what I've done is I completely divided the 2 years of syllabus into these 7 modules. If you look at in the first session in February, 10 questions were given from mechanics part. So huge weightage was given from mechanics. So mechanics includes experimental physics, units and dimensions, vectors, kinematics, Newton's laws of motion, then friction, collision, center of mass, and rigid body dynamics and gravitation and center of mass. All those chapters, we call them as mechanics part. Then as I said, mechanical properties of matter, we have elasticity, surface tension, fluid mechanics. And we all know heat and thermodynamics. There we have thermal properties of matter, gases and KTZ, transfer of heat, and thermodynamics and calorimetry. So complete heat part, if you look at, we got four questions from there. And from mechanical properties of matter, we got only 3 questions. And even from optics also, we got 4. And from electrostatic magnetism, nearly we got 8 questions. And in modern physics, we got 5 questions. So out of 30 questions from this bar graphs, we understand that more weightage was given to mechanics part. There are 10 questions came from there. And electricity magnetism got 8 and modern physics 5. So that means if you look at the mechanics and electricity and modern physics, almost 23 questions came only from those chapters. So these analysis will help you to understand what exactly we can focus. Now let me go to the next one. This is February 24th afternoon session. If you look at there, if you look at the weightage was changed. Here 40% of the questions came from first year and 60% of the questions came from second year. Let's see the analysis now. Here see the mechanics. Now it was given only 6 questions, and mechanical properties of matter we got only 1. Heat and thermodynamics 3 questions, and SHM and waves now we got 4. Optics only 1 question, and electricity and magnetism almost 8 questions came from there, and even modern physics also we got 7 questions. So here again, if you look at the mechanics part was not given that much weightage there. Here you can see electricity and magnetism was given more priority here. So after the session, students, you should understand what are the topics you should focus. Now coming to February 23rd session, sorry, 25th session, there again 50% of the paper was second year and only 46%, maybe 16% from second year and 14% from first year we got. Now look at the analysis here. Now again, the mechanics part was given 9, and remember no question came from mechanical properties of matter. Then we have 4 questions from heat and thermodynamics. Yes, 2 questions from SHM, 2 questions from optics, and again 8 questions from electrostatics, I mean electricity and magnetism, and even modern physics. Consistently you observe throughout the session that modern physics part definitely you'll find 5 questions from it. Now let's see the next paper, the afternoon session. See again the paper number of questions from second year was 60 and 40% of questions came from first year. Now let's see the analysis there. Here again the mechanics we got 6 questions, and again no question was given from mechanical properties of matter. And heat and thermodynamics also we got only 4 questions. SHM also we got waves, we got 4. Optic just 2 questions there. And electricity and magnetism again 8. And modern physics also we got 8. So equal weightage was given in this paper to electricity and magnetism. Now let's see 26th paper on February. Again the 50% was given to second year and 50% weightage given to second year. Now look at again. In this session, the mechanics part was given more important. So from these papers, now we understand that just because in one session, more questions were given in one part, we may not expect the same number of questions there. But look at again, we got 10 questions from mechanics part. And then you look at mechanical property, heat and thermodynamic, SHM and waves. Almost we got 2 questions from each of it. And we got 3 questions from optics. And electricity and math is almost 6 questions are given. And from modern physics, 4 questions only given this time. Previously, we used to get 5 consistently. Now we are getting only 4 questions in this session. Now again, look at in the afternoon session, 53% weight is given to second year and 46% weight is given to first year syllabus. Now let's see the analysis. Now see, in the previous case, we got 10 questions in mechanics Now we got only 6 questions in mechanics in this way. But look at the modern physics and electricity, and each one we got 6 questions each. And again, the mechanical properties of matter and fluids and solids was given less priority in this also. Now, if you go to the March session, if you look at, again, 46% of weight is given to first year and 53.3% of questions came from second year. Overall, we are seeing that either they are equal in number or more second year was given. Now, let's move on to the analysis of this paper. Again, you look at the mechanics part and look at electrical magnetism. Almost 8 questions were given from electrical magnetism and mechanics. So, if you in this paper, if a student is thorough with electricity and magnetism in second year, mechanics in first year, he can answer 18 questions that are given. And even look at modern physics, we got 5 questions again. So these 3 chapters are given more importance in every exam. When compared to the rest of the syllabus, the mechanics part, electricity and magnetism and modern physics was given more weightage. And again, in the March session, we got 53% again given to this what we called as 16th paper. This is 16th March exam was conducted. And again, first year 46%, second year 53%. Let's see the weightage now. The distribution of questions. Now, in this, as I said, mechanics was given only 9. Then mechanical properties was given 1. Heat and thermodynamics 3 questions. And SHM and waves 2 questions, optics 2 questions, and again electricity and magnetism were given almost 8 questions were given, and modern physics was given 5 questions. Now 17th March shift 1 paper, this is the morning paper. Yeah, see, this is the thing you should understand. In this case, more questions were given from first year than the second year. So almost 17 questions came from first year syllabus, and 13 questions came from second year syllabus. But it rarely happens. But in this session, those students who scored better, who can answer first year questions better, they have an edge here. So this is another important analysis you should make. Now again, look at the mechanics was given 10, electricity was given almost to 7 questions, modern physics was given 5, and look at in this case, optics given only 1 question. And even mechanical properties also was given only 1 question. But look at heat and thermodynamics, you got 4. So if you are good at heat and modern physics and electricity and mechanics part, you have fair chance of getting better marks. Now again, the situation has changed. And March 17th session, 53% questions came from second year, only 46% questions came from first year. So the same analysis we have seen in the previous cases. Now again, look at here. More weightage in this paper was given to electricity and magnetism. Almost 9 questions came from there, and 7 questions came from mechanics part, 5 questions from modern physics, and even 3 questions came from SHM and waves, 2 from each mechanical properties and heat. So in this, electricity and magnetism was given more importance. And 18th March session, the same 53% of second year syllabus, 46% of first year syllabus. Now look at again, we got 10 from mechanics part, 8 from almost 9 from electricity and magnetism, 5 from modern physics. Now look at mechanical properties 1, optics 2, and even heat and thermodynamics also 2 questions we got. Now let's see another one. Yeah, this is another interesting one. In this 18th session, 50% of the question given from first year and 50% of the questions given from second year. So equal weightage given to both first year syllabus as well as the second year syllabus on 18th of March. Now let's see the mechanics part again, reading with 10 marks. 10 questions only came from mechanics part. Electricity was given almost 7 questions, or no, 8 questions were given there. And again, modern physics was given 4. But look at heat and thermodynamics. This also again, we got 3 questions from there. So mechanics was given more importance. Now this is July session, where you got more weightage given to again second year. 56% question came from first year, and only 43% questions came from first year. Now look at the weightage. If you look at, so now we can see from this Yeah, can anybody tell me which chapter was given more weightage here? Students, can anybody answer?
Mechanics.
Mechanics, how many questions? Likit? 9. 9 questions came from mechanics, right? 8 questions came from electricity and magnetism, and again 5 questions came from modern physics only. Now look at other one. This is another interesting point. So only 43% questions came from second year, 56% of questions came from first. That means 17% from second year, 13% from first year. Now look at the analysis of the chapters. Again, the mechanics, see, this is the highest questions given in this paper. 11 questions came from mechanics. That's why more weight is given to first year there. And electricity and magnetism, they are just 6 and 6 equal weight is given. And look at the optics. No question came from optics in this session because more questions were given from first year. And now, in July session, I just summarized all the details here. You can check it here. And again, 53% from the first year and 46% from the second year. And you can see in this, mechanics was given 9 questions. No mechanical properties questions were given. Heat and thermodynamics questions were 3. And SHM and waves are 2. And then we have optics 2 questions. Electricity and magnetism was 9 questions. And modern physics, we got 5 questions from there. In the next session, July session 25th, and look at 53 second year and first year 46%. Again, if you look at mechanics were given 8 questions, mechanical properties 1, SHM is 1, optics we got 2, electricity again 8, modern physics 6. Right. So again, if you look at there here also, and 25th July session, the same thing happened. More weight is given to electricity and magnetism. Almost equal weight is given to electricity and magnetism and even to mechanics part. And we got only 1 question from SHM and waves. That is very less number of questions. And this is 27th July. Second year again, 56%, 17% given from second year and 13 questions from first year. And look at there, the highest priority is given in this chapter for electricity and magnetism, and you got almost 11 questions from that chapter itself. And this is 27th July afternoon session. Again, if you look at from here, 53% of the questions came from first year. See, whenever the first year weight is given more, you can understand the number of questions in the mechanics part. See, in mechanics, we got 10 questions here, and 2 from mechanical properties, and 2 from heat and thermodynamics. That means almost 15 questions came from first syllabus itself. Then we have the remaining from what the second year. Let's see the July session, 27th in the afternoon session. Again, second syllabus was given less weightage. More weightage was given to first syllabus. Again, we got 10 questions in mechanics and mechanical properties of matter 2. And in this case, electricity and magnetism are given the equal weight, given to 7 questions. Right. If you look at in this, what I'm trying to explain in this is analysis. So this is paper analysis of August. Okay. So in this, I want to show you another different to our analysis. What are the questions came from each chapter and how many questions came from each chapter in this? Let me explain. For example, if you look at 26th August paper in the morning session, 1 question was given from experimental physics, 1 was given from units and dimensions, 1 came from kinematics, 1 came from vectors, 1 came from Newton's laws of motion, work for energy, but no question was given from circular motion, collisions, and center of mass. So in mechanics part, only those 2 chapters were left. And even you got every question from 1 question from each chapter. Then we got 1 question from 2 questions were given from surface tension. Rarely happens. So I think this is the only paper where you got 2 questions from surface tension, but generally it won't happen. And look at thermal properties of matter, no question was given. Yeah, in these all the sessions we see very few questions coming from fluid mechanics. And gases and KPG, we got 1. Thermodynamics, we got 1. And even no question was given from transfer of heat and SHM also. Now let's see how the second year questions were given. If you look at the second year papers, the chapters, we got waves and sound 2 questions almost. Reoptics and physical optics, we got 2. Electrostatics 1, no question was given from capacitors again. 2 from current electricity, 1 from electromagnetism, 1 from magnetism and matter. Electromagnetic induction, we got 1 question. AC circuits, we got 1. EM waves, we got 2. Dual nature of matter 1. Atomic physics 1. No question was given from nuclear physics. And 2 from C. This is what I want to show to the students. If you look at the semiconductors, this is, as I said, this is the last session of this year JEE Mains paper. That is August session. In every session, you can see minimum 2 questions were given from semiconductor devices. And now look at current electricity and RC circuits. In every session, 2 questions minimum were given from current electricity and RC circuit. So in the second year, if you look at, repeatedly more number of questions were given from these 2 chapters. One is semiconductor devices, another one is current electricity. So if you are focusing on these 2 chapters, definitely you can solve more. That means instead of putting efforts on electrostatics, if you study current electricity, you will have a more edge. Similarly, instead of spending your time on atomic physics, if you spend your time on semiconductor devices, you have more chance of getting questions. We are getting 2 questions here. So this is what you need to understand. What chapters I should focus and what chapters. Reoptics and wave optics also you are getting 2 questions, but in this the syllabus is too high. My suggestion is instead of spending time on reoptics and wave optics, if you look at this EM waves, that is electromagnetic waves, it's a simple chapter. But you see, every time you are getting 1 question, almost every time. Only once it was missed, but most of the time you can expect 1 question from electromagnetic waves, which is easy to answer. Even if you look at communication system also, there is 1 question was given.
Please once again, EMS, EMW.
Yeah. So shall I continue? Right. See, now let us see. Till now we have seen the paper analysis, how the questions were given in each session, what is the weightage given to the first year, what is the weightage given to the second year, all that I explained. Now what I'm interested is, I'll just show you what are the topics that are given. Can you see my, I should share it again. I think you can see my Word document, right? Rashmi, can you see the Word document?
Yes, sir. It's clear, sir.
Right. Yeah, see. Yes, students, here now look at what are the subtopics on which the questions were given more from each paper and each chapter. So it took me a lot of time to analyze these questions. See, in the experimental physics, on what topic more questions were given, just let me expand you. If you look at this experimental physics, where we are interested in calculating the errors. We all know that in every experiment, whenever you conduct an experiment, there is a chance of getting an error. So in this, if you look at, I have seen the question 2-3 times. A question was given, finding the percentage error in acceleration due to gravity. We all know the formula, the time period 2 pi root over L by G. This is experiment is there for your board exam. So this NEET exam, JEE Mains exam is focusing more on the experimental physics. And 1 question was given from this Ohm's law equation, V is equal to IR, where they asked to find out error in the measurement of resistance. Then we have 1 problem was given on Young's modulus, how to find the error. Then we have 1 on resistivity. Then the percentage sphere, we know sphere volume 4 by 3 pi r cube. They asked to find out what is the error in the volume of the sphere. So like that, we can expect 1 question. And in addition to this, there are 2 categories of question I've seen in the papers. One is how to find the errors. The other set of questions came based on vernier calipers and screw gauge. So I request you have to be thorough with these vernier calipers and screw gauge in order to answer those questions. Coming to units and dimensions, again, I've seen varieties of questions coming from this year. The one is they give one equation and you're asked to find out the dimension formula in that equation. The other one I've seen the frequently asked one is matching of the dimension formulas. On left side, they'll give one column, right side, there'll be another column. In the left column, they'll give some quantities A, B, C, D, and on the right side, 4 answers will be given. We just need to match. So there'll be a single matching. So I've seen 2-3 times it was given. Then another question this year that they have given is matching of the units. So left side, they give some physical quantities. On the right side, they'll give the units. And still we can match those quantities with their units also. So you need to focus on units of every physical quantity and how to write the dimension formulas. And remember, these chapters are very easy to score and easy to understand. Then there is one question given, how to derive the equation or the relation between the physical quantities. Then one more question was given, whether the equation is dimensionally correct or not. How do we verify it? We simply find out the dimensions on the left hand side and the dimensions on the right hand side, and if they are equal, the equation is dimensionally correct. Then coming to kinematics, here I found lot of questions only from one-dimensional motion. I think only in all the almost 26 papers which I analyzed, I could find only 2 or 3 questions from 2D motion, that is oblique projectile. More questions were given from one-dimensional motion. And that too, the questions are more based on calculus-based questions. Now I've seen lot of graphs are given. See, for example, they give VT graph and they'll ask you which of the following represent the corresponding AT graph. In one paper, they have given VX graph and you are asked to convert into AX graph. Okay. And then like that, we have some, as I said, calculus-based questions were given. Most of the questions are based on graphs. And then we have one question answer, change in momentum of oblique projectile. So whenever body projected at an angle theta, we know that along the horizontal velocity remains same. So no change in momentum. But along vertical, the velocity changes its direction. So there will be a change in momentum. So we say in vertical, the change in momentum is 2mu sine theta. So that's the question given. And there is one more question you all familiar with, the bullet. So whenever a bullet passes through a plank, it loses 1/nth velocity. We have few questions of that kind. So one question was given. Then this is also, yes, these questions are, most of them are seen, I mean, in every paper and every book. This water drop, so they say that the drops are falling from certain height, and what is the time taken by the third drop, I mean, distance the third drop and fifth drop. So that question was there everywhere. I think most of you have learned it. Then, as I said, few questions came from the oblique projectile. I've seen this one, mag height and time of flight. There was a question given, and one question given from bodies projected horizontally. That is aeroplane. There is a question, when aeroplane is moving horizontally, it drops a food packet, where does it land? We need to find out the range of it. Then again, I said a lot of graphs are given, and one question given on complementary angles of projectile. So overall in kinematics, in this session, in this 2021, more questions came from one-dimensional motion than two-dimensional motion. Then coming to vectors and relative velocity, I found a lot of questions from vectors, and 1 or 2 cases they gave the relative velocity concept. We have a problem based on polygon law, cross product, and even dot product. I've seen resolution of vector and even the resultant velocity. It is given previously also in JEE Mains exam. The same question was given this year also. They say that a girl is, when she stands on a moving escalator, she'll take T1 second. When she walks on a standing escalator, she'll take T2 second. And what will be the time taken by the girl to walk on moving escalator? I think most of the students know this question. It's a very, very familiar question that was given again this year also. And we have questions on parallelogram law as a resolution of vector, triangular vector addition, shortest time, shortest distance. Those are based on relative velocity and angle between two vectors. So such questions were given from vectors. And Newton's laws of motion and friction. Yeah, we got a few questions. I can see few questions on connected bodies and acceleration of the bodies connected to springs, and then some problem based on the equations, and some problem based on inclined plane, coefficient of friction. Very few questions were given from pseudo force in this. Then coming to work for energy, again, some problems are given on work energy theorem. Then we have one problem based on percentage, kinetic energy and momentum relations. Then I see one problem based on conservative force. And there is one problem where power and time are related. This is also again a standard problem. They say that a body is subjected to a constant power. How? Displacement depends on time. How velocity depends on time. That's again a standard problem. Then we have one more question given on work done by variable force. So we have two equations. Work is equal to force into displacement if the force is a constant. And W is equal to integral FdS, we say, if force is a variable. So we should understand when to use the integral form, when to use the normal form. Then we have this UX graph for conservative field. So there is one formula, F is equal to minus du by dx. We use it for conservative force. And then one problem based on change. These are simple problems. Then on circular motion, we got some problem based on the ratio of angular velocities. Very few questions came from vertical circular motion. Then we have one graph between V and R. Then we have seen some questions based on banked road, angle of banking. All the questions I've seen. One question came from conical pendulum also. Collisions also, we have very few problems. And one such, I see one in oblique collisions. That final velocity of the colliding bodies, every student is aware of the formula, the two formula that we can find out. From the same formula only, one question was given on masses of the two bodies, colliding bodies. Then we have recoil velocity of the gun. We all know that whenever the bullet moves forward, the gun gets kicked back. That velocity with which the gun recoils, we call recoil velocity. Then fractional change in kinetic energy of colliding bodies. These are all standard formulas. In center of mass, we have seen very few questions. One question was given the shift in the center of mass. We all know that whenever you add mass to a body or subtract mass from a body, its center of mass is going to change. So in this case, a standard question was given. Just like a sphere is there, some part of the mass removed from the sphere. So how the center of mass is going to shift. Then the direct question were asked on these two. We need to remember these answers because there are certain bodies, regular bodies, where their center of mass are fixed. One is the center of mass of a quarter disc, even the center of mass of a semicircular wire. These things you need to remember them. Then we have few questions on velocity of center of mass. Then this is the area which I want to stress more on, the rigid body dynamics. Many students will fear this chapter actually. There are so many concepts to understand in rigid body dynamics because in this chapter we can use a lot of concepts. But fortunately, most of the questions were given only on two topics. I have seen all the papers. Most of the questions are based on how to find the moment of inertia of various cases. So I request every student pay attention to more to moment of inertia concept. Try to practice all the problems, different models related to that topic. The other one which I found was this body is rolling on an inclined plane. So there are other topics in this chapter, but when compared to all the other chapters, other topics, the more emphasis was given only on moment of inertia and bodies rolling on inclined plane. So I request everyone please go to those topics. And coming to gravitation, I've seen few questions based on Kepler's laws of motion. And we have seen some standard question. For example, there is Earth, and if you make a tunnel along the diameter of the Earth, it's a very standard question we usually discuss in the class. When we make a tunnel around the diameter of the Earth, if you drop a body, we all know to execute a SHM. What is the time period? the expression is 2 pi root over r by g. The time is 84.6 minutes. The same question was another way, where they say that the people at the equator, when do they feel weightlessness? We all know that when Earth rotates in 84.6 minutes once, then the people at the equator will feel the weightlessness. So both are the same question. The formula is the same. So if you can focus more on escape velocity, Kepler's laws, and this, that's what I said, tunnel problem, right? Most of the time, one problem was given force between the two rings, okay? Then some problems are given acceleration due to gravity. Yeah, that's what I said, time period of weightlessness. This one and the tunnel one both have the same answer, 84.6 minutes only. So concepts are same. Now coming to elasticity, these relations between Young's modulus, bulk modulus, and rigidity modulus, those relations were given, and series parallel combination of elastic wire, such questions were given. And very few questions came from surface tension. As you have seen in the analysis, there I've seen some questions based on merging of liquid drops. Then one question came from the expression for height of those surface tension, very few. And very, very few questions came from fluid mechanics. And some students find even this chapter is also very difficult. So what I suggest is, if you are unable to solve problems from fluid mechanics, you can leave this chapter because very few questions came from it. But remember here, we can focus on Bernoulli's theorem. That is easy to solve. Okay. Now coming to thermal properties of matter, we have seen very few problems. One is given a thermal stress, Ya alpha delta T. There is a formula, F is equal to Ya alpha delta, that is called thermal force. From that on, we get thermal stress. And coming to gases and kinetic energy, you focus more on first law of thermodynamics. And then we have this relation between gamma and F. I've seen that question 2-3 times in those papers. So make sure that you are thorough with this chapter, easy to understand. Then coming to thermodynamics, there is one topic you need to focus, that is all the thermodynamic process, how to find the efficiency of those graphs. But this time, no question was given on efficiency, but a lot of questions were given on polytropic process and the graphs. Then heat transfer, I've seen only once. The Newton's law of cooling was given, and 1 or 2 questions are given from temperature of the junction. When two thermal conductors are placed in contact, and what is the temperature at the junction was given. Coming to SHM, again, lot of graphical questions came from SHM. See, there is a graph between V and Y. I've seen 2-3 graphs in this paper, and problem is a UT graph, XT graph conversion, then energies of SHM. So this is a simple chapter where you can understand spring mass system is given, simple pendulum is given, SHM was given good weightage this year. Then waves and sound, also very few topic, argon pipes and Doppler's effect, 2 terms were given. I think there is only 1 question given on beats this year, and 1 or 2 questions given on progressive wave equations. Then coming to Reoptics and wave optics, again, these 2 chapters are huge chapters, and in this you need to focus more on the convex lens, the lens maker's formula, and that mirror formula. Few problems came from prism, and then we have in physical optics, where we call it wave optics, you have to focus more on Young's double slit experiment. 1 question came from polarization, that is Malus law. 1 question was given from diffraction, simple microscope, and magnification of microscope, all this given, but more emphasis was given to fringe with all the concepts. Then coming to electrostatic, we all know it's a huge chapter. There's so many topics to understand, and here good number of questions will be given. I think they have touched almost all the topics. Some questions came from electric flux, some questions came from Coulomb's inverse square law, and then we got some questions on dipole, field due to charged wire. A lot of questions came from different parts of the electrostatics. Then potential we have on the coaxial rings and Gaussian surface and also given. In capacitors, questions were given based on series and parallel combination of capacitors and parallel plate capacitor. So I have seen the questions only on those 2 topics. As I said, focus more on this chapter which I'm going to talk, that is current electricity. Okay, lot of questions were given on resistance formula. I think this year color code resistor were given only once, and application of Kirchhoff laws, that is current law, voltage law, series and parallel combination of resistor. Question was given on stretching of a resistor. Then we have a question on drift velocity. There is a question on meter bridge and Wheatstone bridge. Almost all the topics were touched from current electricity in all the papers. Then we have electromagnetism. From this also we got very good questions, but most of them are simple formula based questions. That question was given from solenoid. Then this BR graph for a thick wire, magnetic induction to a circular coil, torque and triangle coil. Most of the questions from electromagnetism are formula based. Then magnetism matter, it's a completely theory questions. So we got questions on magnetic materials, a neutral point. Then we got real depth and apparent depth. That's an important topic, as I said. So you have to understand the relation of real and apparent depths. Then one question given from vibration micrometer. Then we have the graphs based on diamagnetic substances. Then EMI, that is called electromagnetic induction. A question was asked on transformer, LR circuit, induced EMF, motional EMF, energy, magnetic and electric energy, all that there in EMI. Then coming to AC circuits, again it is a completely formula-based chapter. A lot of emphasis was given to Q factor, that is LCR circuit. Some of the students, you may not understand these terms. Maybe in your colleges, this chapter may not be completed. If it is completed, you will understand what I'm talking about. The Q factor is a very, very important. Then we have resonance. The concept of resonance is also very important in AC circuits. Then EM waves, it's a completely theory part, and easily a student can answer the question from electromagnetic waves. And this is a very important part of today's discussion is the dual nature of matter, where questions were asked repeated on two topics. One is photoelectric effect and de Broglie matter wave. See, most of the questions came from those two topics, and I have seen one or two questions from X-rays, but majority of the time the questions are coming from de Broglie matter waves. And atomic physics, you all know the hydrogen spectrum and Bohr's model. So those are the two topics where you need to pay attention to it. Then nuclear physics also, we got some questions on radioactivity, average life, activity, parallel decay, all that we got. So then again, we have a Q value for reaction, everything. Another important, most important chapter of this second year is semiconductor devices. I've seen in every paper, as I said, we are getting 2 questions minimum, and 1 question was given from logic gates, another question was either given from diodes or transistors. So I request every student pay attention to semiconductor devices. Easily you can score 8 marks from this chapter. Getting 8 marks from one chapter is very, very, very important thing in JEE Mains exam. Communication system, again, it's a 2 or 3 formulas will be there for distance from the antennas and number of signals to be calculated, even length of the antenna, all that. And this is very, very simple topic to understand. So this is the analysis of all the 21 papers, 26 papers that I've seen this year JEE Mains exam. Now I would like to summarize. Now the question is, when you see, you understand from this discussion that equal weightage is given sometime to the first year and second year syllabus. And sometime more questions were given from second year, and sometime more questions was given from first year. So here you should understand that you need to focus equally on first year and second year syllabus. Then again, as I showed clearly, mechanics part is carrying more weightage. So 10 questions were given only from mechanics part, and definitely you have to focus more on mechanics. Then thermal properties of matter, you can expect 2 or 3 questions from this every year. And then we have second year, coming to second year, I said current electricity, you focus more on it, and even modern physics, where we have semiconductor devices. So overall, if a student want to get say 15 plus questions, if you want to answer, remember last year, that is in 2021, what happened was they have given first time 30 questions instead of 25. because of pandemic, maybe students under a lot of pressure, they have given 5 questions as a choice. Even though they gave 30 questions, but you need to answer only 25. In that 30 questions, 20 questions were given as MCQ, that is multiple choice questions, and 10 questions were given numerical questions. So negative marking will be there only for numerical, multiple choice questions. No negative marking was given for integer questions. So if a student want to score better marks in JEE Mains, focus more on modern physics, thermal properties of matter. It is easy to get the marks. And as I said, in mechanics, select a few chapters, especially when you're preparing for rigid body dynamics. I said prepare moment of inertia concept and rolling bodies. And one question was given almost from units and dimensions, easy to score. Errors and experimental physics, again, that is also very easy to answer. So in this way, you need to plan few chapters. Now, again, coming to the strategy, see what happens is most of the students, when the exam is approaching, maybe we can expect the exam in the month of January end. So almost we may have another 2 months time. What books you need to study? As I said, there is no need to buy too many books because you don't find all the concept in a single book. Buy one book and instead of that, follow your teacher's advices. Teachers will give you a very good information in the class. They'll give you, they refer so many books because that is their job, and they give all the easy method to solve problems from so many books. So I always request the student, follow your teachers, interact with your teachers as many times as you can. And very, very important is you should write your own notes. See, the teacher might have given, for example, kinematics, you have 30 pages notes, but you don't require all the 30 pages. For example, if you look at oblique projectile, what formulas I need to remember? Time of flight, range, maximum height. So what are the, when complementary angles given, what are the ranges? So there are few formulas. So for every chapter, you prepare one paper where you have written every information there related to that chapter. So this type of efforts will definitely help you all in getting very good marks. So restrict yourself to the notebook, get one standard book, solve the problem from that. And very important, previous papers will give you an idea. Just now I shown you on what chapter the questions are coming from more and what are the topics on which the more questions were given. So, and sometimes, as I said, the questions were repeated. The same question was repeated. So from this previous paper, you will get confidence. Oh, if these questions, if I can answer, definitely I'm going to get these many marks. And practice before the exam, when 2 weeks before the exam, start solving papers as many you can. And by that time, you should be thorough with the formulas and you just keep on practicing the papers, and that will definitely help you getting very good marks in physics. And one important aspect I would like to say is physics is not that difficult if you have a practice. Physics is all about applying logic. So no need to remember anything except a few formulas. There's nothing to bad anything in physics. Just understand the logic. Definitely, we are going to score a very good marks in physics. So thank you for listening to all these tips and strategies and the paper analysis. And now we'll go to Q&A. Now over to Rashmi.
Thank you so much, sir, for this amazing webinar. You have not just covered about different papers in every shift, but you have also covered about different topics and subtopics. You have also told about how to prepare each topic and what kind of questions we'll be getting in every topic. So like the students, they did not go through all the books and get confused about how to prepare. You have already given them a clarity as to like what topics they have to focus on, so that half of the work is already done. All they need to do is practice and practice. So thank you so much, sir, for all these efforts and doing this webinar. Now I have got a clarity on how to prepare for mains, except that I'm already in engineering.
Yes.
So once again, thank you so much, sir. Now I'd like to invite my dear friend and also an ECE student from NIT Jalandhar, Gautami Sirigudi. Gautami?
Are you there, Gautami? I'm happy to introduce my
Sir, I'm
student.
here.
Yeah, Gautami, can you switch on the video? People can see you.
Sir, am I visible?
Yeah, my dear students, I'm proudly presenting Gautami. In the beginning, she used to hate physics. Then later on, she fell in love with physics. Now she's in Jalandhar. Gautami, can you share your experience? How did you what is your journey in intermediate? How did you able to go there?
Hello, everyone. My name is Gautami, and right now I'm pursuing my engineering in NIT Jalandhar, and I chose EC stream. As for my rank, I could only get EC. I couldn't get CSE. So coming to intermediate, I wasn't sure I was going to take intermediate actually, engineering stream and all. I wanted to go into the doctor's medicine side, but due to some issues, I couldn't go that. I couldn't do that. I had to choose engineering. I had to study no matter. I don't like studying physics and chemistry. They don't go into my mind actually. But coming into my first year, I was taught physics by NR sir, and it was a rough path for me. I couldn't understand the topics. Like I'm not talking about sir's teaching. Sir's teaching is like really good, really good. I couldn't understand the topics as my basics were not good in 10th class and 9th standard. So I had to work out so hard that I could catch up with other students in the class. Coming to second year, Venkatesh sir always helped me out in all my decisions and all. He in every step that I took, he was there with me. He asked me what different kinds of questions. He helped me out in making a proper decision and all. Even when it comes to my problems at home, I used to go to Venkatesh sir. He used to help me out. So coming to physics, I suggest that don't study physics. Like, I'm not saying not to study physics. What I mean is, while studying physics, just make sure you note down the important points at a place. Make sure you revise those points again and again very frequently so that you don't skip them out of your mind. Make sure, like for example, what I used to do, I never used to score a good marks in my weekend exams. I never used to generally score them. But after going home, I always used to. This is my trick that I used to follow. So I'm just putting it out here. None of my friends even know that. You can just take help from here. I never used to perform well in my weekend exams. I used to face a problem, a really huge problem, but I never used to show it out. I used to talk to sir. Sir used to help me out in how to solve the problems and all. So what I used to do is, I used to go home, I open my book, I read each and every sentence from the textbook that is given, because the questions that will be covered are always from the root of the topic. So whatever question you get, it is always from the root. So make sure you know the roots of the topic very well, so that whatever question you get, you can derive it from the root itself. Like if you know the main part of the question, then you can derive the subtopics automatically. That would be easier than remembering all the formulas and later on getting confused with it. And later on, sir's really a very good, sir made a big impact in my life actually. That's it, sir.
Thank you. I mean, Gautami, once again, why we wanted you here is, these students, I know that, and one more thing is Gautami scored the highest in the inter class in that year, okay? And luckily, these guys couldn't what called as, they completed almost their intermediate before the pandemic. That was lucky for them. And definitely, Gautami, what suggestion you give these students who are thinking that physics is very difficult, they have a lot of questions that they may not score? What type of suggestion you want to give?
Yeah, great.
Sir, coming to this, sir, even I used to think, like, as you know already.
Yeah.
Where am I studying? Chaudhary, I am studying in NIT Jalandhar in EC department, second year. I'm right now in my second year, and I haven't yet visited my college till now.
Yeah, no, another important point, see how the class notes helped you. How important is it?
So class notes is actually very important because that is where you get all the summary points of all the long pages in the textbook. Because that is in the class, we don't go through the whole textbook at a time. We go through what are the important points, and then we write it down in a piece of paper, and then we read it at home.
Yeah, I request anyone, the students who are there in the room, if anybody wanted to interact with Gautami, you can unmute yourself and you can talk. Is there anybody who want to talk to Gautami? Students, if anybody wanted to talk to Gautami, you can ask any question. Yeah. Thank you, Gautami, for joining to the session. Thank you once again.
Welcome.
I wish you a wonderful future, okay? And
Thank you,
just
sir.
keep rocking, keep rocking.
Hello.
Rashmi? Yeah.
Great. I feel very great. I just I insert one question to you. That is what I am saying. JEE Mains physics mains వచ్చే టాపిక్స్ గురించి కొద్దిగా చెప్తే బాగా ఎలాబరేట్ గా ఉంటుంది.
Okay. So thank you, Dr. K. Ramsubhay garu. I think your question is what are you want me to explain what are the topics we should focus?
Thank you.
Okay.
JEE Mains.
So
yeah,
we'll cover it. Rashmi, can we have Q&A session now?
You are saying this, man? You are seeing this?
Yeah, Rashmi, you can go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Gautami. It has been really nice to talk to you.
Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you, sir, for inviting me also.
Thank you.
Sir, if you don't mind, may I take my leave?
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for your coming. Thanks for coming. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rashmi.
Thanks for coming. Yeah.
So move ahead to the
Do we have any questions in the forum, Rashmi? Did you find any question there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You can read out the question.
It's not actually a question, sir. It's just more he has asked that there are only 2 months left behind for our first attempt of JEE. Please give us some confidence that we can get good percentile. How to use this less crucial time? How to adjust time for physics and prepare other subjects as well?
Who is that? Who asked the question?
Likit, sir.
Likit, okay.
So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Gautami.
May I speak on this?
Yeah, definitely, Gautami. Go ahead. Thank you for joining.
Coming to this question, sir, this was the same problem, if you remember, that I had back then. I couldn't manage my time properly. I always used to waste my time, not exactly waste my time, but I used to keep thinking, what do I study, and that itself was a waste of time for me. So later on, according to Likit's question, I would like to answer, you go home by 6 or 7, if I'm not wrong. After all the classes and all, you go home by 6 or 7. So after you go home, you will have at least a half an hour to get ready, or 45 minutes. Take 1 hour. Think it is 8 o'clock right now, and 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock, you have 4 hours, right? So from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock, make it 3 hours till 11 o'clock. So allot 1 hour for each subject, and put the last 1 hour for doubt clarification. 15 minutes, 15 minutes, and 15 minutes. You don't need to allot all the complete 60 minutes for one subject. You can allot at least 50 minutes for one subject and take 10 minutes rest. But during that 50 minutes, make sure you don't waste even a second of the time. Make sure you utilize it very well, and make sure you remember the concepts that you study in that 50 minutes, because that is very important. Sitting down for 50 minutes and not remembering anything, whatever you study or whatever you go through in that particular time, it is a complete waste of time. And coming to JEE mains exam, let me tell you guys, well, JEE mains isn't that tough as you are thinking, because our college papers that are there, the standard of our college papers is 50% higher than what JEE mains paper is. Not all the questions, but still it is 50% a bit higher than general mains paper. So if you are very thorough with our college question papers, I'm sure you'll easily crack JEE mains. That is very easy for sure. So make sure you excel in the college weekend exams. Make sure at least you cross 200 marks, because I heard recently from my brother that the highest was 205. Sir, was it 205?
Yeah, in some section, yes.
It was 205. So make sure you at least cross 180 in our college exams, because crossing 180 here, because some children, you might think it is, I might just be talking like that, but no, I have the experience. I never crossed that many marks in my weekend exams, but trust me when I say this, it is not that tough, because at first you'll feel tough. That is it. That is what you feel in your mind, but it is not that. You have to get out of that. You have to make yourself think that it is an easy exam and you can do it. When you start thinking that no, I cannot do this, no, this is a bit tough for me, it will always become something, it will always be a hindrance to you. So make sure you don't do that. Make sure you come out of your thinking state. Make sure you change your thinking state, and make sure you work hard for your exams. All the best.
Thank you, Gautami. That's a wonderful feedback you gave. And I think, Likith, she answered your point. Yeah, 2 months is not a short time. It's a huge time if you plan yourself and prepare accordingly. Definitely 2 months is not a short time. The only thing is you have to execute. As Gautami said, you should have a plan. Okay. When should I prepare chemistry? When should I solve physics problem? When should I solve mathematics? And as I said earlier, so have a plan before you sit with the books. Gautami, if you have any emergency, you can leave. That's not a problem. Okay.
No, sir. The program actually shifted, so I was just listening to you all.
Okay. Thank you, Gautami, once again. So definitely, Likith, my answer to your question is the 2 months time. Don't put yourself under. Don't be under pressure. It's a very good time. 2 months is a solid time. You can prepare well for the exam. The only thing is put it on the paper before you sit with the homework, and definitely that time will help you a lot. Okay. Yeah. Anybody want to ask the question? You can unmute and you can ask the question. Gautami, do we have any? Rashmi, you have any other question?
No, sir. If anyone has any questions, they can ask over here, sir. This is an interactive session, so please don't hesitate to ask any questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
How can there is one question read from that chat box? Yes, somebody posted a question chat box, Rashmi. It's a personal message. Yeah, Astrid is asking a question. How can I assess myself time to time? Yeah, that is a very important for progress. Okay, everybody should understand what exactly our weak points and what exactly our strong points. See, I always say to students, never escape from the exam, never quit the exam, because exams give you, or exam exposes your weak point, exams expose your strong points. When you write the exam, maybe you score very less marks. That doesn't mean that you're a failure. From that, you understand that in what areas I need to improve. So assessment happens only through exam. So assess, write as many exams as you can, and definitely you'll understand your weak areas and work on it. Read the concept before you start the problems. And as I said, 1 month before the exam or 20 days before the exam, no other way except practicing the papers. Maybe previous papers, some practice paper, or some mock test. So exams will give you not only the confidence, and it also give you idea where you are lagging, in which topic you are lagging, what are your weak areas, what are your strong areas. And if you find that you are lagging some areas, we can talk to your teacher, you can do exercise on that, and definitely those things will help you. Yeah, Jagadish Kumar Garu, you have any question to ask? You raise your hand. Jagadish Kumar Garu. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, Jagadishkar.
Sir, good evening, sir. I am Jagadish from Karnool.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Jagadishkar. How are you?
Sir, fine, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. And yes, sir. You have any questions, sir?
Sir, one question, sir. My child is studying 10th class, sir.
Okay.
Sir, he is preparing for a day. He's in view of getting prepare for JEE.
Okay.
In Chaitanya School, Karnool.
Okay.
He is facing some problem in electricity, sir. Understanding.
Okay.
Especially RC circuits, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I understand, sir. Okay.
Sir, is there any techniques to understand that topic?
Yeah, definitely, sir. See, there are, as the electricity starts going on, we add more topics every time. So if you want to understand RC circuits properly, actually it is a combination of electrostatics and current electricity. There two things will mix together. Why this particular topic is difficult? Because their students do not have proper understanding about the capacitors. When we understand what exactly capacitor, what is the property of a capacitor, and there is one more topic called inductor. There we have LR circuit. Once we complete the electromagnetic induction, we come across LR circuit where we talk about inductor and resistors. So nothing to worry about this RC circuit as of now, because once you learn LR circuit in EMI, it is easy to understand the topic, because inductor, capacitor have a different properties altogether. When he solve problems in LR circuit, RC circuit become very easy, because both the topics have the same type of property. There are only two concepts there. What is the growth of charge there? And there we say growth of current. So when he complete LR circuit in EMI, definitely RC circuit problems are going to be very simple. So Jagdishkar, nothing to worry about it, and definitely get some idea. But what I suggest is ask him to focus more on the properties of capacitor. What is short circuiting, and how a capacitor charges, how it loses charge. All these basic properties if we understand, because it is easy to understand resistor, but difficult to understand a capacitor. Okay, there you need to understand how the plates of the capacitor get charged, and all the basic properties of capacitor he is thorough with. And definitely once he complete LR circuits in EMI, these problems won't be a difficulty.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right.
Okay, great. My child studying in Sri Chaitanya Vijayawada Raman Shantabhavan.
Okay.
He feel very bad in physics.
Okay.
In all the ways, in physics only.
Okay.
He is good in all subjects, but physics is very poor. How to recoup first and second year? That means he is going to attempt mains or JEE advance. How to recoup that subject?
Yeah.
Please, if you don't mind, please just suggest how to recoup the subject in all the ways.
Okay, I understand your question, Dr. Ram Subegaru. The problem is, as I said, why the students face, why they feel that physics is difficult. The reason is lack of basics. Okay, so those who have the mathematical basics, if they're good in basics of mathematics, because physics is all about learning. Mathematics. So a student who is good in mathematics, definitely they understand physics, because in physics what happens is we use a lot of mathematics, like we use coordinate geometry, we use differentiation, we use integration. And so first let him know all the basics of maths. And for JEE Mains exam, to score good marks in the exam, as I mentioned in this session, they no need to thorough with every chapter. Okay, let him select a few chapters, as I said, in, like for example, units and dimensions, which is a easy chapter, right? Easily they can score marks. And then in first year we have the thermal properties of matter. Again, those chapters are very easy to score. So instead of worrying, and it is better to select a few chapters, and definitely this video will be available in YouTube. You can see the same video later on. Let him go to this and let him follow the instructions that I've given. Let him select a few chapters from first and second year, and definitely he can score marks, because every student, it's not possible for them to master every chapter in intermediate. Let them choose few chapters. Yeah.
Is there any chance to choice of first year or second year?
Yeah, definitely. As I said, definitely it is easy to score second year question when compared to first year. Because
ఒక సంవత్సరం సెకండ్ ఇయర్ ఫిజిక్స్ ఎక్కువ స్కోర్ చేస్తున్నారు, ఒక సంవత్సరం ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ ఫిజిక్స్ స్కోర్ చేస్తున్నారు. జస్ట్ ఐ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ దట్.
Yes, yes.
How it is next then?
Yeah, that's what I said. But if you look at all the, even though weightage was given sometime to more first year, not abnormal. Okay, maybe 1 or 2% extra will be given in the first year, but it happens very rare. Most of the time, equal weightage will be given to first year, second year. In some cases only, the more weightage will be given in first year. If that is the case, that's what I said. It is better to select a few chapters from first year and few chapters from second year. Let him see, out of 25 questions in JEE Mains exam, if a student can answer 15, and even if he get 50 plus marks in the exam, his score will be very good. So there's nothing to worry about it. Let him select few chapters, and before what I said, if you really wanted to excel in physics, you have to be good in mathematics.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ram.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, Rashmi, just find, is there anyone to ask, or else we'll wind up the show.
So we have one more question by Likit, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's asking, like, sir, can you suggest the books to follow, because there are an ocean of books, and a revision strategy to follow to get the best rank?
Yes, I answered a part of it. I had answered, because see, Likit, as I said, there are so many books, and you cannot read all the book available in the market. And first best thing is focus on your class note. That's what even Gautami said the same point. So your teachers will give you enough information that are required for to crack any exam. So better focus on the notes. And the second important thing is buy one good book if you want. You have a lot of books in the market, as I said number of times. One book may not contain every topic that is required, and every book has bits and pieces. But if you want to understand the fundamentals, all the formulas, all the information, the theory question, I suggest one book called Deepthi Publication. They published one book for JEE Mains exam. There they have given all the important synopsis. So you can buy Deepthi book first year and second year. That will cover all the basic formulas that you require. And another important point is, as I said, don't worry too much, and definitely what you have to do is plan accordingly. So divide your syllabus, identify what are the topics you require help from the teacher, identify the chapters which you are good at, and as you've seen from the analysis, how many questions are coming from every chapter. And for example, I said semiconductor devices, it's a very easy to understand. So guarantee you can answer 2 questions. If you focus on communication system, again it is a simple chapter, 1 question you can guarantee attempt. And if you look at electromagnetic waves, that is also easy chapter, you can answer 1 question from there. So like that, if you choose few questions, few chapters, units and dimensions, again easy. Kinetic theory of gases, again easy chapter. So like this, if you can select 10-15 chapters from where the questions are coming every time. For example, if you look at Reoptics, Reoptics is a huge chapter, but I've seen throughout this analysis, only 1 or 2 questions were given from there. So instead of spending more time on Reoptics, I suggest to put more effort on atomic physics and nuclear physics. It is easy to score from that. So this type of analysis you need to make again, put it on the paper on what are the chapters you are good at and what are the chapters you need help. Then interact with the teacher, get the help. And for the fundamentals, I suggest you to buy Deepthi book, where you have all the important formulas that are there. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We don't have any more questions, sir. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask.
Yeah. So I think we can wind up the show, Rashmi. Yeah, you can propose a vote of thanks and we leave.
Yes, so thank you so much, sir, for this interactive session. It has been really informative. Students really need a session like this to get a clarity as to how to prepare. So thank you so much for putting all the efforts and also inviting Gautami, because students like them are an inspiration to a lot others. So thank you everyone for attending this session. I hope that it has been useful to you all. I hope that it has inspired the students and helped them out in preparing in the right way. So yeah, I hope everyone had a nice time. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. I should thank Rashmi. She is my student, my favorite student, and definitely you did a very good job today, Rashmi. And I can see my friend Seenu joining from faraway place. Seenu, thanks for joining, and hope you are in Kerala. Yeah, unmute, Seenu, unmute yourself.
Yeah, right now I'm in Kochi airport. I'm working here as a duty manager.
Thank you, Seenu. Thank you for joining.
Okay. Thank you.
And even
Thank you. I tried.
Yeah,
I tried last 2 weeks, but I didn't get time. Right now, last 5 minutes, I got time. I joined.
Thank you, Seenu. Thank you. Thanks for your concern. Thank you. And I can see my other old student, one of my old student, Prakna, are you there? So I can see a lot of students and a lot of people joining. And definitely, Ashrit, and I wish all the students all the best. And definitely, you all do very well in the coming exam. And EdGroom is there to guide you in better way. In the coming weeks, we are planning so many webinars in order to guide the students. Okay. Thank you once again. Let's wind